What's up, everybody? My name is George, joined by Hex once again. A brand new month, a brand new hero, and a brand new set of North American games. We're about to jump into 3 tasty ones this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, wherever you are, of course. We've got Dallas facing up against Washington first up.
Yeah, what happened in April? Who knows? It came and went very quickly in the blink of an eye. We are in May, and that means we have a few changes to the Overwatch League format here. Is we're going to run a end-of-month tournament. Every win that you get here is going to enhance your seedings, and then those the end of tournament, you also get awarded more points towards the final end-of-year tournament too. And I believe what's most important, of course, in this world, in my perspective, cash money on the line in this tournament.
It's all to play for. Like you said, the teams want to collect the W's here to increase their seeding, and Dallas and Washington are going to be fighting that out first up. And I got to say, Washington not looking so hot right now, but with ever-changing hero pools, plus a brand new hero in it as well, with Echo coming to the fray. It's going to be a good one. It's who can pick up Echo the quickest and be most effective on her, of course, as well. Dallas and Washington, have they got it in them? Of course, we'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I mean, Echo is, obviously it's the new hero, whereas, not in the pool last week, but finally dipping the toes in. And I have a prediction that we're going to see nearly 100% pick rate on Echo. There's a few stages where you probably won't see her. Busan Mecha Base comes to mind because you still kind of want to run those brawly comps. But Echo is, look, I mean, this kit is really, really good. You've got the primary tri-shots, you've got sticky bombs, and if you ever play different games, sticky bombs are always fun to hit. Also can fly through the air, glide your way down, and then there's an ability called Focus Beam, which does extra damage to targets that shields pets and players under 50%. I will just refer to it as Death Laser Jaws.
Yeah, it's pretty devastating. The burst damage is actually crazy. You land a few sticky bombs, maybe one tri-shot, and then you instantly hit into the beam, the DPS, the 200 HP target, even 250, you're going to die pretty fast. And I like that too as well, the fact that it does more damage to shields that are below 50% also. It gives her a lot of shield breaking potential, and pets, as you called them. I'm not sure I call Bob a pet, but
no, like,
still, it does a fair bit of damage.
Yeah,
there
things
well.
Like immortality fields and bongos. Sorry, that's just like it's an old coding term that comes in, like the objects in the world that aren't players and or people. And I think right now we're still getting a grasp of her, but because of those abilities and the cooldowns and because of her flight, she plays like this weird combo between Pharah and Genji, which very likely means we're going to see projectile players picking up the Echo.
Yeah, let's have a look at Dallas lineup. Let's bring that up on your screens right away. Of course, like you said, most likely going to be the projectile players. So we're looking at the Pharah players, the Doomfist players, and we have a Doha and Decay on the Dallas roster for the DPS. So I can imagine we're going to see Decay on the Echo. Maybe a little bit of Sombra here and there for Doha. It wouldn't surprise me all too much.
I would venture the other way. I think that Decay will be playing whatever hit scan that they play, whether it's Tracer or Sombra was mostly the hit scan that we saw from the APAC region last night, and I think Doa is going to be playing the Echo. But, agree to disagree. I don't agree to that. Gamsu and Note are going to be playing the tank lines. Closer and Crimzo will be playing the supports, and this is a Dallas team that is retooled yet again. The hopes are high for fans, but cautiously high for fans, as they should be. But this Dallas team is 4-4, looking to finally get on side of a winning record, and against a Washington team that's been floundering. This is the kind of game that you have to win if you're Dallas. You have to win games that you should, on paper, win, because you have a tough schedule, and you have to pick up the W's when you can. Unfortunately, if you're a Justice fan, that W might be coming at your expense.
Yeah, the W's haven't been coming in thick and fast for the Washington. Let's have a look at their lineup, though, as we jump into this match. They need the win here, not only because they just need W's, but, like we said before, the May tournament is going to count towards your seedings as well. So they kind of extra need it, right? Stratus and Corey and Tuba, don't spell it backwards, are going to be the DPS for the Washington Justice, of course. We are going to see Tuba in today with Corey, so it does allude to me thinking, Tuba's probably going to be playing the Echo. His Doomfist is pretty clean, his Pharah is as well. Echo seems to fit his wheelhouse perfectly.
You would think so. They're lining out the lineup, it's going to be Roar and Elivote on the tank line, AimGod and Arc on the supports, and it's going to be interesting because we've seen a lot of Zenyatta so far. I mean, look, we've only seen 2 matches. I don't know why I keep saying a lot, but I watched some of the matches last night. But AimGod is a very good Zen, can take over games because, well, he lives up to his name in AimGod. But this Washington team needs to find some confidence early on. They only have 2 victories all year, right? They beat Boston, they beat Houston, Not the greatest resume for this Justice squad that they put together, and I think maybe expectations from last year were overblown because they had a resurgent Stage 4 after a bad year before that, so I think expectations were high, haven't lived up to it, but anything can happen with a hero pool. It's the meta shifts rapidly, which team can adjust, and sometimes you can just get a carry performance out of a player.
Let's have a look at the maps we are jumping onto today, though. It's going to be Nepal for our first control. Potentially final control. Maybe we go all the way to 7 games. We'll have to wait and see. But Nepal has been an interesting one. I can't imagine we're going to see Echo on Sanctum. However, Village, definitely so. And even a little bit of Shrine also. There's a lot of aerial superiority you can kind of claim. Although the point, not necessarily the best. But Echo is interesting in this meta, Hex. Or this meta that is going to be
the Echo
played during this week. Yeah, it's definitely going to be the Echo meta, but Mercy isn't actually in the pool right now. Mercy has been banned away, and we are probably going to look at Zen, like you said, because Zen, you're a target healer, right? You put the orb on somebody, and Echo seems like a perfect target to put your orb on, plus you can discord people for Echo to then blow up. It seems like the perfect... it feels like the perfect replacement for the Mercy in these kind of comps, although you can be so squishy in the back and it's so easy to dive as Zen.
Yeah.
It's really a give or take there.
But also, you're probably going to have a Brig in a lot of these compositions. Brig used to be the anti-dive, but she also enables dive, and I think you can early on classify Echo as a dive damage dealer. Means you want to get in there as quickly as possible and get a ton of damage done. You're going to see early Symmetras. This is just to get out there. I can't believe anyone would be on it, and this is kind of exactly what we thought. The interesting pick here is Corey on the May.
Yes, yes, yes. They really don't value this dive all too much. They got 2 shields, so it kind of makes sense, right? You're playing way more defensive. Doha's not going to be able to get too much done. He's going to have to find a different angle to come in. It's exactly what it did do. Sticky bombs landing in the back line. Beautiful bar grenade actually hit Aim God, forced him to use shift. Elivo went a little bit low as well as Decay tried to do a little something. Gamsu jumps in, gets deleted, but Doha's going to do the same to Tuba, winning out the 1v1. Now Washington losing one of their DPS. They're not going to be able to really rile up all too much if Decay and Doha keep their distance, which is what Doha is going to be pretty good at on this Echo. And with Aim God going down as well, this looks like it's going to go in Fuel's favor. Crimzo has the nano boost coming online rather soon, but Washington's still wanting to fight out on this point. Doha is getting so much value now. In fact, just permanently hunting down Tuba, it seems. Almost half HP. Tried to go for the death laser, but didn't end up finding the kill. But Fuel are going to cap the point.
Such an aggressive dive. He goes all the way behind the line alone, and he's fine with it because the rest of his team jumps in. He tries to get that focus beam down, and it's really good to clean up fights. Decay did a really good job early in that fight of forcing out cooldowns from the Mei. You will see Corey finally fall on that Mei. Dallas will take first control. Ultimate's up for the Washington Justice, and it's really interesting to see the 2 different support lines, completely different looks. You've got Coalescence and Barrier, I mean, and the tank lines too. These teams are running completely different styles. The only thing in common is this Echo. Boar's going to take a bit of a nap as they try to reconvene, but if Washington can gain the points, in theory, they have the much stronger sustain.
Crimzo, you don't want to be there, buddy. He did nade himself. It's going to require a little bit extra healing, I think. Close is going to be right on top of him. Flux is going to come out, though, and almost disintegrate the back line. That it does, in fact. Gamsu and Crimzo end up going down. Justice aggressively using that beat forward also. Doha's going to clone himself into the Moira, provide some additional healing plus a Coalescence, but the team are already dead, unfortunately. Ult goes a little bit to waste as Elivo just cleans up the fight.
It's going to be one of the things to watch as we enter Echo Week here continue Echo Week here. Which targets are they going to choose to duplicate? Obviously, extremely unique ultimate. Your ultimate ability on that duplication, duplicate, you know, is it a noun, is it a verb? It depends on which context here. But a lot of, you know, like, oh, I want to be this. I think a lot of times you're seeing duplicate come out as an ultimate of opportunity.
That was clean. Okay, 2 ends up going down though as Decay cleans him on up. No throws in the self-destruct, just Crimzo hitting that nano on the Winston. Gamsu lands right on top of Justice. That cleave damage is all too much for them. They're backing off for the time being. Corey caught unawares, and now Gamsu continuing to tase the backline. There's nothing you can really do raw apart from hold shield, unfortunately. All about the stall game now for the Justice. Tuba could come back in though. He has got the duplicates, and he actually takes out Doha. So what are we, 2 for 1 now in Doha and Tuba? Duel of the Fates.
Yeah,
Decay ends up taking out Tuber, though, at the end of it, and Dallas Fuel end up recapping.
To put a cap on that point, I mean, there's going to be a lot of times you're like, why would you duplicate that person? And the answer, I think, for sometimes, not all the time, for duplicate is because they were there. Right? You just use it, and it's not the easiest ultimate to be able to target the specific player that you want to get. It's like, why wouldn't you just target the Rhine? Because it's hard. Because it's hard to do.
Okay, tried to go for a cheeky pulse. Duplicating the right, though, is so good. You get so much value, especially against this comp. The double shield comp, that is. Decay with a pulse bomb, sticks it to the back of Raw. Aliva going so low. Has to use that eat to try and survive, but he's going to get pushed away by Gamzu, finished off by Decay. Decay is just having a field day on this Tracer right now. He even kills off Tuber's clone as well. Tuber didn't really get any much value from it all. Nice charge by Raw, taking out Doha, but Dallas Fuel continue to control the point. The back line of the Fuel are in trouble, as Justice do unleash the beat to push them forward to keep them all alive. Corey, even with the Blizzard, is probably going to hold on to this one until the next fight, as they do clean this one up slowly but surely.
They should be able to take back into this, and Doha is going to have the duplicate, so he can become a duplicate, and... Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
This is going to get so confused.
Crimzo's going to have the nano to re-enter this too, but if Corey can get a decent Blizzard and shut this down, then Washington can definitely take it, because we are firmly in final fight territory, 99 for Dallas. Doha is going to clone the Moira again. No,
the cheat from Note, though. Unreal, the 1-0 that they really needed. He's going to go in block as well. Doha with the Coalescence going to aid the team in healing and damage, but Gamzu already falls. Corey ends up trading, not too bad of a start for the Fuel. Decay with the Pulse Bomb could land something big at the back, but they got to watch out for Raw. 80% on the Shatter. If he can get this one off, it might be good enough, but no, Decay ends up finishing him off. There will be a beam onto Note. He's almost going to fall, but used the Matrix to get out of dodge just in time. Doha wins the 1v1. Tuber ends up going down as overtime ticks through. Justice still fighting for control on the point, but Dallas Fuel get the cap. OT now in their favor as they got the rally at their backs. Tuber's going to come back with a duplicate, but they can't end up touching. The Coalescence wasn't enough to send them forward, and the Fuel would end up taking Shrine.
I mean, all eyes are going to be on these Echo players as we move throughout the day, and because it's a fun new hero, but I do want to give a ton of credit to both Decay on the Tracer, constantly alive, doing a lot, led the team in Final Blows, and the person who was with him in Final Blows was also Note. I just want to give Note a ton of credit over the last couple of weeks on his Sigma play. His D.Va's always been solid, but that's a playmaking D.Va right there to eat that Blizzard. Probably swings the fight for Dallas. So, yes, Doha on the Echo is going to be super fun to watch, but I'm actually more excited for Decay on the Tracer because, well, I'm just kind of a Tracer snob, and I really like Tracer play. So watching that's really good. And, yeah, I think Doha, very close to the end, ended up winning out the 1v1 duel that you're going to see a lot of Echo v Echo.
I was kind of hoping we'd go to Sanctum, to be fair, but we do end up on Village. Does it like full stall comp for Fuel, double shield.
Double shield,
triple shields. Quad shield if you count Wall as a shield. Tuber is going to be on the Echo, of course. Who do you duplicate in this comp? I think Reinhardt's probably the best, to be honest with you. Makes the most sense. You get so much cleave damage, you get instant ult, and then just run forward. And you get, again, double shield. Nice couple of walls coming out from both sides to stop the cap coming through from Justice, or at least the contestation. There you go, Alivo gets booped on in. He's going pretty low and frozen up as well. Can't really eat those, unfortunately. And that will be the cap for the Fuel. Justice now going to get run down. Raw! Oh, that would have been a nice little charge, but ends up getting stunned alongside Gamzu as they do charge into each other. Note and Gamzu end up cleaning on up, and the beam turning everybody to just fluids.
Like, I appreciate Overwatch and its art style and everything, but part of me wishes it had a modding community a la maybe the old Team Fortress days, because I guarantee you there would be a Symmetra beam that just shot Hornets. That's all it would do. And it would be awesome. It would be glorious. But as it stands,
we need a Sim B skin. T4, please. Coalescence from Aim God. He's going low. Everybody. What is happening? I can't see anything. Oh my goodness. All I know is Crimzo got 3 kills with a Cole. Make that 4. Thank you very much. Pad in the support stats and a little tactical crouch to finish it off. Fuel with a very quick team fight, only losing 1. And continuing to hold the point.
Not only that, but their economy is just in great shape right now. To win a fight with Coalescence only, and then be able to come back in with both. I mean, every other ultimate's going to be online. You have to imagine Doa's going to get his Blizzard. This is going to be a battle of the Blizzards, and Corey's going to be pretty happy here that there's no one to eat it up on the other side. Maybe Elivote makes a giant play against Doa's Blizzard, but Decay is just going to open up with this enormous barrier.
Yeah, that's actually huge. The Blizzard's going to come out. Super ends up going down. That shadow through the shield. Oh, the counter shadow from Raw. We tried to, but there's a big shield in your aim, my son. Unlucky. Gamsu ends up cleaning up the fight now. There's no way you're going to escape Raw. Absolutely not. You might as well give ult charge over to the enemy team. And 82% and building fuel fans. They're pretty happy with themselves right now. Washington Justice fans, though, not looking so hot. Although they have Flux and Cole and Beat, but they're running into a blizzard from Doha.
Yeah, gonna have to use it all to get in. You maybe open up Coalescence and then Beat as a reaction. But that door is shut, Ellie.
Oh, yeah, he's... Oh, no, they don't touch! Oh, no! Oh, disastrous! Oh, dear. Well, we'll forget about that one real fast. Woof! Oh, boy. Fuel end up taking the first map. 2-0 on control for the ball. And Justice, wondering what happened, as am I.
It needed a better showing there. Like I said, this Washington Justice team has been struggling. I believe they're on a 5-match losing streak. So you have to come in and put up a good fight. To lose a point like that really hurts, but it is Nepal. You know one door is going to get completely shut down. They had the idea for it, right? You send one person one way. That's where their Sigma was going. You send everyone else everywhere. One of those doors has to be open, but Dallas did a really good job of denying the 5-man squad trying to enter that side, and then Ellie just has to look at the wall and deal with it. So we'll see if Washington can bounce back, but this is what you expect out of Dallas. Win the games that on paper you're the favorite.
Yeah, looking pretty good though is Tuba on the Echo. Like I said before, winning the duels in the 1v1s in the skies. Always pretty impressive to see those when no one else interferes, of course. Okay, I'm looking at you interfering on your Tracer, trying to pepper him out of the sky. But Echo so far, what have we seen from Doha? Well, we've seen him copy Moira a couple of times. I don't think it's that bad, to be honest with you. You get Coalescence quick enough anyway, and it can really just turn a fight. It can just lead to so much pressure in the back and force out a lot of cooldowns as well. So I don't think it's the worst thing to change into by far. I think healers and tanks, I think DPS a little bit less so, but I think healers and tanks are probably the best way for you to go if you're going to use the duplicate. Ryan's a key one, of course, because you get Shatter so quickly as Echo. It's just insane.
Wolf made a good point of picking up or duplicating heroes that are maybe still in your comfort zone, right? So DPS would obviously duplicate another DPS, but also Moira is like not the highest skill hero to try to, you know, you don't really have to do much, but picking up a Winston and trying to use a Primal Rage, that's a really difficult ult to use. Coalescence, not so much. A DPS could handle that. So I think you're seeing some of the duplicates based on that.
Yeah, so DPS could handle Moira.
Yeah,
you hit Q and then you look at people. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. Map number 2 on your screens very soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. Deep flavor, deep crunch. It's a mind crunch. And by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Series, a rather poor game for the Fuel. They take it 2-0. Washington, unfortunately, a couple of times there, a little bit of a C9. Although I'm not sure you can call it a C9, to be fair. You're playing against May, a forced C9.
Don't tell anyone on the internet what they can call a C9. Everything is a C9. It doesn't matter if all the players are dead. That's a C9 for not touching. So I misspoke a little bit earlier. I said Dallas was 4-4. I believe they're 3-4. So they're trying to pull even here, get to 500 as it were in the season. And their next couple of matches are against Philadelphia and Paris. So very difficult matches. So you got to pick up the W against Washington here. They 3-0'd Washington earlier this year, so this is not out of the realm of possibility for Dallas to make this a very quick series. And we're headed to Hollywood, one of my favorite maps of all time, and it's a very good Pharah map, which you would assume would translate into be a pretty solid Echo map.
Yeah, I think Hollywood's one of my favorites too, just because it's so varied on what you can do. Especially with DPS, you can play something rather close quarters on the first point, like Doomfist, and then you can play Widowmaker, Kree, Ashe, even Tracer on the second point, because it's high ground, low ground, there's a lot of flank routes as well. It's definitely one of the better maps, I think, for hybrid. Doomfist, Echo, definitely, we're going to see that. Yeah. I would be very shocked if we didn't. Like you said, Pharah is so good at this. You can kind of hang over security just a little bit and just rain death from above. And you can also get to the left-hand side of the map so easily with Echo because of your flying ability. And I think one of the best things about Echo on this point too is the fact that she can pressure out people from afar, of course, but people that are going to be hiding around the dumpsters or in the cafe, it's actually going to be pretty tough for you to do much against the Echo, because she's probably going to be holding high ground, and the amount of burst damage she has, she can get in and get out so quickly, X.
Yeah, and also when you transition into the second part of the map, colloquially referred to as Westworld, as a movie set in the Western times, just taking high ground for free, not having to wait for elevators, not having to deal with any of that. Like, I think her upward mobility is really an interesting part of her kit, and you can get super high into the skybox. I would imagine, again, that we're going to see a ton of Echo all the way through on pretty much every point. It's just going to be the style in which she plays is going to vary, but it's a hero with a kit that allows you to play, I can just stand on the ground and then maybe jump a little bit and get damage behind the shields, or I can just rain over the sky onto people.
That's why I like Hollywood. So you can just sit in the skybox and shoot people.
Yeah, I like Hollywood, the city. Actually, it's a nice city.
So do I.
Parts of it.
I've been there a couple of times. Yeah, parts of it. Yeah, I don't know. I've been to one of the first times I visited LA a few years ago now. I ended up going to Beverly Hills, like driving around or whatever, and I'm like, this feels like it's out of a film, you know? It was a little bit surreal for me. I'm not entirely sure why, but it was very odd. And seeing everything that's... because obviously there's a few games out there that copy worlds like this very specifically, and an open world game that you run around and drive cars and, you know, shoot people. Like that game, it copies the Hollywood and that lot, like almost down to a T, and it's kind of weird seeing that for the first time, I'll tell you that right now.
Pro tip, if you want to see the Hollywood sign when you're ever able to leave your house again, go to the dog park nearby and then drive down through the Hollywood Hills. It's the best way to go. Don't go the other way. It's usually too crowded. Pro tip from somebody who lives here. Wow. Anyway, as we get out of here, we are going to see that the Dallas Fuel will be running a very similar composition to what they've run thus far. Crimzo will be on the Ana for the distance healing this time. Washington Justice going to keep Corey on the May.
Crimzo, Nano, Doha, you won't. Please, I want to hear what the gun sounds like. The guns change noise when they do. Uh-oh, well, Raw's in trouble. No, he's not. Take it back. Gamsu's in trouble. No, he's not. He got bubbled. No, now frozen. Unlucky. Nice defense matrix though. Just stop that fire strike coming through. Pressuring the point. That's what Fuel need to do right now. Decable's doing it. It forces Justice to actually rotate back rather quickly. Doha and Tuba. Still want to see the duel. Oh, there we go. The duel in the skies. Oh, no, ruining it. Oh, doesn't matter, though, because Crimzo ends up going down. Doha's still in the back, though. It's going to be a bit of a problem. If Doha ends up going down, you just lose this. Yeah, there you go. Fuel end up losing 2, and now Tuba can basically farm your front line for free. Justice playing rather aggressive, knowing Crimzo doesn't really have any mobility tools, only the sleep and the nade to keep himself alive, and he ends up going down first.
It was nice early from the Dallas Tanks to peel from each other. I thought that they were going to at least lose one or two of them, but they did a really good job leapfrogging. And I get why Doha went in, because he almost had him with the Death Laser, but then Tuba's able to get the pack around the corner and comes back in full health. Just dominates Doha.
Nice freeze on to Note. Blizzard comes out. Everybody's stuck. Note, unfortunately, ends up going down to Baby D.Va. Oh, a Decay gets just doomed across the map. Almost a 3K, actually, for Corey there, as he almost headshot Doha a couple of times. Nice little start, though, for the Justice. Not too bad whatsoever. 2 minutes and 20 seconds now remaining, and Corey playing up in their spawn.
Yeah, it looks rather good for the Washington defense, and I think they're playing this May in anticipation that Dallas is going to run dive in some sort of variation. Obviously, the dive tanks and Echo are coming in, and every time someone comes in, they try to hit this wall. It's like trying to hit a flashbang, but McCree is not at the full.
I love this positioning from Decay right there, waiting for people to get pushed off the edge by Gamsu and then going for the stick. He does just that. He ends up killing Elivo. Big pick now. Now Fuel just need to be able to stop that shadow. It doesn't quite happen. Raw lays them all down on their back. They get kept alive though, as Doha changing over to the Sigma. Doesn't quite get ult off, was only a little bit away, but it does the damage and it created the space that they needed. Corey's almost got another Blizzard online, so Fuel needs to take over this point ASAP to make sure Corey's not in a position to use it. They all get naded too, so they aim to play back a little bit more. A 1v1 in the skies, this time it's against Tuba and Note ends up coming up big. The point is still in contestation, as we do have Elivo coming back from the spawn, and Nano onto Decay. The Coalescence doesn't stand a chance, and the Fuel finally cracking the Justice defense.
Yeah, it's just historically a map that the Fuel have struggled on. It's the only hybrid map in their team's history where they averaged less than 2 points on, which means they're not completing Hollywood, well, ever in their 3 years of existence for the most part. On average, they struggle a little bit there. We'll get some time added to the clock, but nice plays there to bring it back from the Washington Justice. And this is where you're just going to see sky duels. The new Moth, if you will.
Oh, Decay ruining it. Oh, almost got the one clip.
That was so close, we might get copyright striked. That was really
No,
good.
don't say that. I'm sorry. He has Pulse. What is he going to do? He's aiming for aim goal, potentially. No, he's aiming for the tanks. The stick on the back. Instantly Raw gets destroyed. The rest of the team aren't going to be able to help from that. Not a burst healing, really. There's the beat, though. They are still wanting to fight this somehow. Decay just doing so much damage, though. And even Doha winning the Sky Duel. Tuba, Elivo, and God, they're all dead. There's no point following this one up. I'm not really sure about that B whatsoever. I mean, you're kind of looking for a 1-for-1 in that situation, I feel, and then you go for the big beat, but Hug throwing that one away, and now you do have so many ults ready for the Fuel. In fact, almost an entire 6-stack coming up in a second. Decay and Crimzo are going to get these online so quickly.
Yeah, Tuba had ended up trying to fly, but hit his head on the ceiling and got taken down. Complete swaps here. Tuba's actually going to go over to the Reaper. Aim God is going to go over to the Moira, so looking for a brawl comp against this guy.
You're going to get dominated, though, I feel like, if you're Tuba. There you go. He already blows the shift. Kind of bad. Oh, Doha copied the May. Oh, it's over. The game is done. Stop playing. Like, look at that ult charge. 80% already. He has Blizzard. He freezes Elivo. He throws it in. That should be it. I'm not sure he even needed it, to be fair.
Well, you might as well use it. Like, you can't.
Bananas.
It doesn't transfer when your Echo expires.
Oh, can you imagine? I want to see the Echo copy the Echo to copy the Echo to copy the Echo to copy the Echo, so we just end up in an infinite time loop where neither of them die.
You can't divide by 0.
Well, you know what? Maybe we can. We're in a fantasy universe after all. He nanoed him! I knew it! Doha's going to get nanoed. They take the point anyway. He's up in the sky. He gets rocked. Almost goes down. The sticky bombs are doing a fair bit of damage, though. The laser as well is carving a name in the back of the tank's heads. Elivo and Raw end up falling. Doha didn't get too much done, but the Fuel run over Justice nonetheless.
You know what I found most absurd during that May duplicate was that he got so much ult charge just going into Ice Block. Like, he goes
he existed and he got ult. It's like Hog. In fact, I was speaking to Jake when the Echo first came out, and we talked about what's the best kind of duplication person to duplicate, And Hog is one of those heroes that gets ult pretty quickly. When you actually use a self-heal, you're going to take damage, and you're going to get ult almost instantly. And I guess May's kind of the same thing in that respect. Pulse Arm goes a little bit wide. Will be an ult coming out from Elivo. Not sure who he's actually managed to catch. Crimzo going pretty low, but the rally is keeping him alive and well for the time being. Elivo ends up going down as Tuba takes a nap in the back. No damage follow-up. You said before that they want to go for this Brawly comp, but you can't really do that when your Reaper is dead. Doha with another kill with the sticky bombs, and the Fuel saving ults for the last push. Justice have a few of their own as they continue to stall out. But 2 minutes on Hollywood of all maps is a pretty good time heading into this final fight.
The thing I really want to watch is just who does Doha copy. Also, Dallas Fuel has the door-shutting ultimates. To put a Primal Rage at one door, you can put a Self-Destruct at the other and just walk this one in. They've spotted the Reaper out up top, and Doha might go for their copy on the Reaper.
Oh no, the Reaper's teleporting. Oh, he gets slept as well. Oh, he wakes him up, and he's going to be able to ult at the time being. Doha is going to change over to Mei to try and freeze people to death. The beat will come out for Justice to try and salvage the fight. Gamsu ends up going down as Doha still continues to build at this Blizzard. He's hitting shot after shot after shot, but the Fuel are still taking names, and Elivote just eats the ult. Doha end up now falling back. They're going to have to go for this one again. 1 minute still remains in their time bank, so still very winnable. They did manage to get the beat out of Arc as well.
Just wondering if that actually counts in the stats of eating a duplicate's ultimate.
Absolutely. You
Yeah,
like,
it does.
I
Yeah,
feel
it might
so
start
cheated.
shifting the stats because those ultimates are going to get thrown in willy-nilly.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to be more haphazard with a short, for sure. Doha ends up falling really early on, and Tuba claims the kill, so a little bit more time burnt off.
I mean, now it's only 38 seconds left, so that's a final push. Corey gets slept somewhere, but I think he is just fine. Preemptive fire strike to make sure nothing happens.
Yeah, that defensive flame strike, yeah. Oh, dearie me. Mgod's got the nano, he's in high ground, not anymore though. Big nade onto Tuba to stop him healing himself, and he ends up going down to Gamsu. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there, it looked like he was alone completely. Corey nowhere near this Blizzard, unfortunately, for the Justice, as Decay finds himself in the backline. He spotted out Aimgod, he's going to have to go for the big stick, he hits it. Oh, the rest of the team are just getting run over as well. Arc ends up going down. What a perfect way to end the fight. Decay with 3. There's 3 seconds remaining on the clock. Make that 1.8 as Dallas Fuel end up getting the full cap.
That is very much like the very first map where we're talking about this Echo, we're talking about everything going on, but while all the attention is focused on the Echo, Decay is just crushing at the bottom. I believe he ended with 13 final blows, 25 eliminations. You saw the stick towards the end. He got nanoed because that's a confidence they have in his Tracer, and I think Tracer always excels when there's attention somewhere else. You get a Pharaoh Mercy in the sky, Tracer's in your backline, and Decay has been using the distraction of the shiny new blue moth to his full advantage. He's been leading final blows, leading eliminations throughout both maps so far.
Just crazy, crazy Tracer play coming from Decay. I mean, like you said previously as well, like, Tracer's a really fun hero to play, fun hero to watch, and a fun hero to destroy on. It's cool to see her in the kill feed, and just Decay lighting people up like that. It's a good sign for the Fuel. He's going to jump over to the Ashe this time. Bit of a different healer comp too. We've got Baptiste and the Zen. This is what I wanted to see. I want to see more Zen, not because I'm a Zen player, but, well, actually, that's partly because of it, because I want to play Zen again.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can enjoy Heroes, Joss. It's allowed.
Yeah. Oh, thank goodness. I was afraid I couldn't. But, I mean, I don't know. I like the Zen a lot because Mercy's not in the pool right now, which does mean it's a little bit harder for the healers to actually do much to the Echo. She's going to be in the skies or on high ground a lot of the time, and Zen kind of facilitates her quite well. Discord the back targets, and permanent Harmony Orb as well, so you're almost invincible up in the skies. I quite like it. We'll have to see, obviously, how it works out. With Closer at your back as well in the Baptiste, you're going to be more than safe against the dive, which is what Justice are running on this first point.
Yeah, it's gonna be, we saw a lot of Ashe last week as well, and I think you're running Ashe over 76 here because 76 used to be the mainstay on this map. You kind of want the burst damage of the long distance headshots, a little easier to hit with a scoped-in rifle here. Corey's going to take up the Tracer. Obviously, I think it's just a difference between offense and defense while you're running Tracer versus Ashe.
Gee, no, he's taking so much damage. Corey's aim is just unreal. Oh, yeah, he's spot out now. He does have recall, but not enough blinks. He's probably going to want to save those up. Forced to recall, that could be pretty big.
Recall back in the corner again.
Yeah, Raw is there. And Tuba. Oh, no, yeah, Corey's dead. That was so bad. That was really unfortunate. I thought Raw and Tuba were going to push in there to help him, because as soon as you don't have your recall, your Trace is almost useless, because she just gets picked off so easily.
Yeah, it was tough. You want to be able to recall back to safety, and he ended up just recalling just to get health, and I'm still stuck in the corner. They just easily eliminate him. No one's even touched Decay so far. Both TPS hanging out here. I think they saw Corey on the flank.
Oh, there's the nano. Oh yes, it's on Tuber. He's in the back line. There's the beam. Oh dear. Immortality Field does save them for the time being, but still gets a lot of ult charge to work with. AimGod ends up going down. Now only Arc to heal the rest of the Justice. Tuber is inting onto the back line, but he does it well. He ends up killing Gamsu, but Decay still on the high ground. Pulse Bomb a little bit waylaid by the rest of the Fuel as they do jump out the way, but Corey with a nice two-piece, with the help of Roar, of course, taking out both supports as they do get onto the point.
Zoning Dynamite.
He's so good.
Yeah,
Corey is so good at the game. Like, how is he this good at aim? It's just ridiculous.
I mean, despite the happy birthday to the ground from the Pulse Bomb, he's able to get in here. But I think Dallas has designs on coming back and contesting it. At least they're putting people up top, but giant angry scientist up here.
Here we go. Here we go. Doha's closed. Look at that ult charge. I can't even count it. It's so quick. He's already got Primal Rage. He ends up getting sledged in the back. He's still going to be alive, potentially be able to get out with a couple of seconds remaining, and Crypto comes in with a big Transcendence to keep him alive as well. There's the Primal Rage, juggling people through the air, ends up changing back to the Echo now for the 1v1. Tuber gets instantly destroyed though as Decay manages to get back from spawn. The Washington Justice, that looks so good. They got 2 ticks though, Hex, not too bad, but they're now running into not only a supercharger, but they've also got to deal with the bomb.
That was pretty sick from Doha there too. And like, yeah, he gets slept, but that's a resource that's not available to be used on anybody else. The rest of his team comes in, he's able to create space. Not the best Primal Rage, but he spent most of the life sleeping, so you know, what do you really expect there? And we're going to see some Bob on the field here.
Oh. Big boop. There's the Bob. Primal Rage in the back. Raw already under 200 HP. Doha wins the 1v1. Crimson ends up taking out Corey as well. He just gets dominated in these backline duels. Nice shot from Decay, taking out Elivote as he's ejected from the mech. And now Washington Justice with 50 seconds remaining.
Is he quarantined in that corner or something? That's the second time he's died back there.
He's social distancing himself from the team.
Exactly. Social distancing himself from alive.
Heals. Okay, Hex, this is it. Look at the ults. 2 support ults, but they have to kill Doha before he gets his ult online, otherwise I think it's going to be over.
Yeah, I think you pick your nano target here, try to get some presence on the point, rally it up. I think you Nano Monkey and you take Cafe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you're going to do. Immortality Field's going to go down, but the damage has already been done by Raw. Close and Crimson are now out of the fight. Gamsu ends up going down. Raw with a ground pound straight on top of Note's head. Another kill onto Closer will just do it. And the Justice, they find the 33% that they needed. A little bit of a struggle towards the end, but they still managed to get the cap. As the Fuel changing up their comp completely as the Justice swarm over the set phase.
I don't think we're going to see Bob again. Maybe. All right. Decay's staying on it. Decay with the value of
quite
Bob.
Like it.
I wish you could duplicate Bob and start moving around.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
That would be so sick.
Man.
You could walk around as Bob and have aimbot. Oh my god, that'd be so sick. Make it happen. Nice push off the roof there by Elivote, but he's going to get dueled out. This is going to be the problem, I think, for Corey now. It's going to be tough for him to really get anything done. Speaking of Bob, there he is. Doha in the backline, though, with the Monkey. And there's the Primal Rage already earned. A nade landed on top of him as well. He's going to be more than happy to just pop that Primal Rage. A lot of support for AimGod, though, as Arc is going to be there with the armor packs. Doha just kind of feeding his health bar into the ult bank of the Justice. He sends the skies once again as the Nano goes on to Tuber, but he's not really able to get too much done.
But they're able to reclaim this high ground. The dive goes up behind them, actually. Let's see what Tuba wants to do. Tuba wants to duplicate Spawn, apparently.
Oh my goodness. I've forgotten, we've kind of forgotten to keep track of the 1v1s, but it's a bit harder on this point because they're not actually going for them. A is what it is. Nope, Alien's taking out Elivo. Doha in the spawn. Oh, the fade away. Sticky bombs. You love to see it. AimGod sent straight back to Lumbridge as Justice now have a minute remaining.
Yeah, since they've stabilized, that card has not moved at all. In fact, it is moving backwards on this point. Washington doesn't have a ton to work with here. They are going to get a duplicate. Corey is going to have a pulse bomb. Maybe Arc gets to the rally during this. But also, Note has been known for some of the greatest self-destructs in the game. This is such a good point for him.
Oh, it really is. You have to scope and cover rather fast, but that cover is a little few and far in between when you are in the middle of the field. Oh, Gamsu ends up falling, though. Not too bad.
Yeah,
good starts.
He fell in Primal, too. Corey forced out the Primal on him really early.
You beam him. Is exactly what you've got to do. And that's exactly what Tuba did, in fact. 50% extra damage. Oh, sorry. When they're under 50%, you get extra damage.
Doa Winston
DMX. Instant, yeah, I mean, look at this though, he's almost dying instantly. Yeah, obviously unleashes the Primal Rage, but Washington Justice still need to touch this payload. They are currently contesting. If Aim God ends up going down, this tank copy is just ridiculous. Like we were saying before, tanks and healers are just so good to copy because you're going to get the ult so fast. Crimson ends up going down the back lines, the beam of death ends up demolishing Corey's health bar, and he's forced now to retreat after recalling. Tuba's going to be able to get the ult from the Winston, but instantly changes back, and now he's getting dueled out in the skies by Note. Decay takes the shot, takes him down, and the Justice are going to get held here. You got to think Raw's going to come back, might earn himself the Primal Rage, not quite, as the self-destruct is going to clean everybody else off the map, and the Justice end up going down, and the Fuel now 2-0 up in the series.
The Zoom-Yata unable to get there towards the end. But you're right. I think you hit it perfectly. DPS ults can be flashy and they can be playmakers. You know, Pulse Bomb can eliminate a person, and there's obviously a Nano Blade, but you pick what's up there, and tank ultimates and support ultimates have historically always been some of the best ultimates in the game. You think like really early on, like Shatter and Graviton Surge, obviously really, really good. Primal Rage thought more of a stall out, but he got a good juggle there on the Zenyatta. Support ultimates are really, really game-changing as well. That's why some of these ultimates charge slower. So when you put them onto the Echo, which the ultimate charges faster in the Duplicate, I mean, that's just a recipe for success. So I think maybe early on I was incorrect on our first map of like, well, maybe he's taking Moira because it's the easiest target to get, but I think he was really just trying to get that Coalescence up, really highly valuing tank and support duplicates here. I think is going to be the strat if you're going to play Echo.
Yeah, it's got to be. They don't, like you said, they don't necessarily get instant kills, but the pressure it provides, especially being a tank, of course, we saw Doha changing into the Winston, jumping to the back line, it's just an added layer of pressure on your team that you have to deal with. Yeah, you might be able to get Genji play pretty quick, but that's not as much pressure in the back line, especially when you're just throwing shurikens at people.
Yeah.
Now, we are going to see the Justice... the Fuel even go up 2-0 in the series. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. Can Justice bounce back? We'll have to wait and see.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, helping you stay connected to what matters most. Learn about T-Mobile's COVID-19 response on T-Mobile.com. And by State Farm. For auto, home, or renters insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Everyone to our game break presented by Pringles Wavy. My name is Zoe and joining me are Costa and Reinforce. And the Dallas Fuel are currently up 2-0 and it's not looking too close, actually. Dallas are looking good. However, I personally wouldn't say it's necessarily because D.Va is popping off on that Echo.
Yeah.
I quite frankly think this is kind of on Decay or Note. Reinforce, who's standing out for you?
No, you're spot on, Zoe. So far, to me, it has been the Decay and the Note show on that D.Va because they have been so effective on their favorite heroes. And meanwhile, D.Va has kind of tried to catch up with the Echo gameplay and try to figure it out as he goes. Because I was going to go into this crunch time, or not into this crunch time, the game break, and talk about how I'm pretty disappointed so far by D.Va's Echo, and I don't think he's actually contributed that much. But then he turned it around on Hollywood, and he actually started looking like a decent Echo. But so far, to me, Decay's Tracer, I mean, oh my god, it's been so good! It's been so good! Incredible! And then Note as well. I think Note deserves some real praise because he has been so good at shutting down Tuba on that Echo himself and apply pressure and make sure he does things good on the D.Va. So far to me, it has all been the Decay and the Note show, but D.Va is starting to pop off a little bit.
On the other side of the foot, I keep trying to use that and it just always goes terribly. Washington just haven't really looked very good at all. They don't seem to be having much team synergy. They aren't they're playing almost too passive. They're letting Dallas do whatever they want. Like Decay's literally just running in circles around them, and they're not really finding a way to stop him. So if I'm the Washington Justice, they need to find something or play in a way that allows them to work together, because right now it just feels like almost a ranked game for them.
Yeah, I mean, where it did look like D.Va needs to kind of warm up on his Echo, the other side, Tuba's Echo is just like not aggressive enough. If you are playing Echo, you have to take those flanks, those angles. You need to be more aggressive. The entirety of your team needs to be a bit more fast-paced to really make it work. And the Washington Justice just don't really do any of that, honestly. We do, of course, have to discuss Echo in our crunch time presented by Pringles Wavy. So guys, ultimate usage with Echo. Who are you duplicating? Why are you doing so? Please take it away.
So we're gonna highlight it here because this is the first thing that we saw from Doha on the Echo. He actually turns into Moira twice, and I have big questions around this. I think it's all built around him getting enough healing so that he can get the Coalescence, but I feel like there's much higher priority targets, like the Reinhardt, even a Sigma if you can get the ult, the Mei, if you can get the Blizzard out. We saw it happen on Hollywood. So I kind of wanted to just sort of like break this down and pick your brains a little bit, because I was sort of trying to think about where it is. It feels like our Echo level is at like level 3 out of 100. And the pro players over time are going to start learning and figuring things out. And because the potential for this ultimate is enormous, right? Like you can do anything with it almost. So I'm really looking forward to as people level up, because we haven't really seen that top level Echo play yet so far today. Yeah,
I think maybe that Moira pick stems from the fact that you want to speed up the tempo of the match itself. You're playing that dive composition, you are playing the Tracer along with it, so you want to get that Coalescence up to really like speed things up and up the tempo, but still he didn't get that value required from the Moira, so I don't think that it worked out too well. And I'm gonna say it, hot take, I'm gonna say it right now as someone pinged my door.
Did your food arrive?
I don't want to talk about it.
It happens every single show, ladies and gentlemen. He orders food, and every time we're in a game break, his food arrives.
I just wanted to make a great point.
What's your hot take? Okay, run the hot take. Run
it.
No, never mind. Just end it. I'll hype it up.
Just end it. You want to get to your food?
Just next time. I'll hype it up on the next game break. I'll bring my hot take on the next game break. Stay tuned.
Okay. Wow,
oh
the suspense. I can't believe it. Well, but producer hasn't told me yet to wrap it, so unfortunately you can't get to your food until he does so. So let's continue discussing Echo. I think Hex was kind of on board with the whole let's duplicate Moira, get that Coalescence. There's a lot of pressure onto the enemy team with such an impactful ult. But how much of these duplicates are actually also influenced by what can the player play? Like, what if D.Va is just not comfortable on the Rhine?
I don't think it would be that. I think it's more just players choosing what they think is good, or in that on the hit of the moment, who are they looking at? Like, one of the ones that D.Va did, he was just looking at the Moira, like, sure, why not? So, like, most of them are fine, and you can get value. It's just sort of, I don't think any player's looking at being like, oh, I don't know, my Moira is a little shaky these days. So I think we'll see them just sort of picking whatever they think is actually best.
See, and that's why my thought process is just not the one of a pro player. I'd be like, I can't play this hero, therefore I will not duplicate him. Anyway, let's see if the Washington Justice can actually get back into the second half of this game. Let's see if Reinforce makes it in time to pick up his food. All of that we'll find out again in our next game break, and we'll inform you of such. And for now, we're heading back to Josh and Hex for all the action.
We're back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles Wavy. Big crunch, big flavor. The Overwatch League is brought to you by HyperX. Unleash your style, unleash your fury, with HyperX Fury Memory. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
The Washington Justice need this turnaround right here, right now, as we head into map number 3 of the series versus the Fuel. They haven't been looking so hot over the last couple of weeks, Hex, and these matches mean a whole bunch more than just regular season wins, Hex. Of course, the May tournament is all about that seeding as well. Collect W's here, and you get placed higher in the seedings later down the line in the tournament. It's all to play for right now. Justice, they may be down 2 maps, but we're on to Paris as our next one.
Yeah, and that tournament's actually going to affect the year-end tournament too, so it all kind of snowballs into each other. The Washington Justice looking for a W. They lost their first matchup versus Dallas 0-3. Their next matchup next week, really interesting. It's against the Vancouver Titans. Who knows what that team is going to look like? I'll definitely be tuning in for that one. After that, they have the Florida Mayhem, so only one match a week for this Washington team. It doesn't look like they really have the stuff to bring this one back, but we saw a reverse sweep last night, so not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not out of the realm at all. And so what have we seen that has been good? I think Tuba's been okay, Echo, to be honest with you. I think Decay is looking a little bit more clean, but Tuba definitely hasn't been tragic, to say the least. It just feels like the ults, especially coming from Decay, because it does feel like a very Echo-centric game right now. Surprise, surprise. Obviously being the brand new hero thrown into the mix, but Decay's just getting so much with his ult. It just doesn't feel like we're seeing the Justice really and Tuba really have the same impact.
Yeah, Doha has made really interesting decisions on what he wants to be a duplicate of when he uses duplicates. It was Moira on the first map, then it was Winston on the second map. He got a lot done on the Winston. The Moira was a little lackluster. He ended up in a weird spot on the Moira a couple times, like next to the Reinhardt, trying to get damage, couldn't get the shields done. But, I mean, Decay on the Tracer has been my favorite thing to watch. It's my favorite hero of all time. It's the logo of the league. Of course, we need to see Tracer into it, but he's hitting pulse bombs. He's constantly alive. He's always in the back line. He's leading his team in final blows. Like, he has played really well. Note has been playing some of the best Overwatch he's played in 3 years, in my opinion, in the last several weeks. And this Dallas team, on the rise, on the rise. Like, if you're on the Dallas Fuel fan flowchart, you got to be like, I can be happy right now. And that's where you're at. You're on that side of happiness. No calls for fire everybody after this one, I don't think.
I don't think so either. Fuel looking rather clean.
I do want one thing though, because there was this guy last year who was a Fuel fan that every time the Fuel won would post the most incomprehensible messages I've ever seen. It would just be like, Dallas win, Fuel blue, burn blue, Fuel, Dallas win. And I loved them because it was like someone speaking their 8th language, and it was just completely off the charts. If that happens today, please mods, make sure those messages stay up. It was a joy to watch all last year. Unfortunately, we didn't get a ton of wins from Dallas last year, so I didn't get to see him. So if I get one today, I want that guy to come out of the woodwork and post the most incomprehensible sentences about the Dallas Fuel ever. We may see it as we head into Paris here. Dallas looking to clean 3-0 sweep the Washington Justice.
It's looking that way. Of course, we're on Paddy. Paddy, by the way, is be quick, like fast in Korean. So that's exactly what the Fuel are doing right now, being fast and being quick. They do run out the gates. They're on attack first. We are seeing Doha, of course, on the Echo, and we have Decay back on the Tracer. This is what I want to see. This dive comp is just so good. It feels like Justice don't really want to take these dive fights anytime soon.
No,
more happy to put Tuba on the Torb instead.
Yeah, bunkering up.
Oh dear, that's not a good place for Gamsu to be in. He got rocked, he got icicled, and he dies. And so they can stagger him out here actually if they really want to be cruel. That's exactly what they're doing. Elivote refusing to stagger him almost there, almost killing him off. Raw ends up finishing the fight. That'll be the Fuel. Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to actually get anything done, I feel. I think Decay really needs to just play backline at this point, or switching over to the Ashe, in fact. Double shield for the Fuel instead.
Well, it's so you can get Dynamite over the top, I think, through these two. But I really like the pick from Tuba here. His Echo's been fine, but Torb, as we've seen in the last several weeks of the Overwatch League, is very good at anti-dive as well, because you're going to overload and make sure that yourself is unkillable. The turret can be a problem to deal with. I think the turret in off angle will be a little better, but Decay get that Dynamite over the top.
That's a lot of damage. A lot of damage coming out from the Justice, though, with that Cole. Let's get that back. There's Crimzo going down. Cold does so much on this map because there is one choke point, a singular one, and it's pretty good for May, funnily enough. And Corey now has the Blizzard. Very, very hard point to crack open, but the second point is so much easier for attacks, it feels like, although it does, as every Assault map goes, it is more of a snowball than anything else. Corey trying for something rather cheeky. He throws it on in, but Raw actually ends up going down. He is still in the back line, doesn't quite manage to get to Gamsu. The rest of his team are going to follow him up. In Immortality field to save closer side for the time being, as Decay also ends up falling. Elivo is just getting rounded upon as Doha ends up copying the May. And now it is all falling apart from the Justice. Corey's little funny escapade into the back line of the Fuel not working so far. And Justice now rolling over the defense. Tuba ends up falling. Corey to follow. This should be the first point now capped for the Fuel.
It was really nice play from Closer as he was stuck in the corner there. He was really low, but the rest of his team was really low. Drops down the Immortality field and then just hits the boots and goes skyward. So it takes him as a target out of the mix. Gamsu ends up falling, but then he's able to heal himself up, heals everybody else up, keeps them alive. Now he's going to have the amplification matrix, the window pane of pain, if you will, and Dallas is got the snowball potential you want on these assault maps. We're going to have Gravitic Flux, the aforementioned amplification matrix, and Crimzo's going to have his ultimate as well. A Molten Core is good on defense, but this is a very large point, even as assault maps go, so it's hard to cover the whole point.
Hear me out. The Molten Flux, dude. You put it on the ground, you flux them up, and then you just put it all over the ground, and then easy game. That's a very big flux in the back, actually, for Note. Ends up picking up 4 people. Elivo's going to copy this, but the backline's already, your backline's already up in the air, you're going to get no damage done. Now, Arc ends up going down, and they're all trapped in this corner. Raw is in a very bad situation. Coalescence is kind of forced out. He's going to get forced away, and the Dynamite's doing so much tick damage at this point. Raw ends up falling. Corey also ends up going down. They try and re-enter with the beat, and now Fuel can just sit behind these shields. They have Supercharger at their back. Doha's doing a bazillion damage as Elifo ends up falling. The Beam of Death not quite finishing off Arc, but the Fuel are in such a good point now where the Justice have to trickle themselves onto the point and try and find one pick, but it looks almost impossible. Corey comes in with a Blizzard. No, it's going to fall pretty down low and ends up falling out of the fight, and Closer ends up keeping him alive, keeping Doha up as well. And now Doha even copying the Sigma. This feels all over. There's no way the Justice get back on the point now. 3 minutes in the time bank. Fuel with a steamroll over second point.
War with a Desperation Shatter there does not connect, gets no value out of it, and the Dallas Fuel will steamroll over that. The Sigma copy versus the other Sigma. It's like, look at me, I am the Sigma now. Hits him in the face with those Pain Pebbles, and that spells the end of it.
Pain Pebbles.
There's so much interesting stuff. We don't have enough time during these fights. Overwatch is a game where you have to steal moments where you can actually talk, but we could talk for an hour about what are you copying here as the duplicate and the echo. There's so much variation. That one may have just been a copy of Opportunity, that we got to take this point, everyone hit ults, that's the one guy left, so let me just take it over, and able to take down his brief counterpart, his clone. And Dallas Fuel able to finish Paris. Not the easiest task. Paris, amongst assault maps, not the most heavily favored, largely because the points feel so different. The first point is so choky, it's so defenders favored. The second point, a lot of ways to enter for the offense. Like, you have 3 legitimate entry points, which is kind of rare for an assault map, and it's so offensive favored. So it gets very strange as far as snowball potential goes on Paris.
Yeah, to add on to that as well, I think with the second point, the problem is for the attackers, yeah, I guess it's attacker favored in the fact that you can flank a lot, but as soon as you die, like, that walk back is so painful.
Yeah,
it's the most painful out of all maps.
I know, but it's every
so of course
map.
That is, that's to kind of balance it out, of course. Right, let's have a look what Fuel are going to do on their offense. Looks like double shield. They're going Closer and Crimzo on the Zen and Bap again. I really like the Helicom. And we have Decay on the Ashe. Corey's going to have a little bit of a tough time. He's going to require permanent armor pack, it feels like.
Armor already stripped away, but he's all the way in the back line. Maybe just go pressure point here so that someone has to turn around. I mean, they know he's there, so it's not like he's going to give away position. I love where these supports are set up, though. Top right corner.
Yeah.
That's where
Corey's going to
Corey's
be able to
looking.
push them off, though. Uh-oh. You must know. The call-outs have been made, surely. Oh, Crimzo with the duel. Oh, he gets healed. Only just ends up going down. Corey with the just unreal aim once again. Gamsu doing the same thing, just mowing him down with the Gatling gun. Corey falling, not too bad for the Justice. They'll be able to get back rather quickly as Decay also ends up falling. No Mercy in the pool, which means you're not going to get rezzed up. Tuba going pretty low as well. Ends up getting finished off by Note. Both Echoes now down. Rather even trade so far. Definitely favouring, though, the offense as they do manage to get onto the point and secure a tick.
Dallas is not necessarily in retreat mode just now, though. Now it seems like they're going to try to cover the retreat so they can get the BAP out alive. Immortality Field. Closer stays a little too long. I think
there it is.
Tanks were trying to cover for his retreat. Now the tanks look like they're in a tough spot, too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what you got to do, Gamsu, if you're in that position. He's not going to get fast spawn, though. Look at that spawn timer ticking up. Leaders know this is incredibly bad for the Fuel right now. Gamsu is going to spawn. He's not going to be able to get in position in time, or at least not in time to contest the Justice tanks. Corey with the pulse bomb. He's got the supports in his sights, trying to find a little something. Armor pack straight, insta heal coming through from Arc to try and save him. Amon God ends up going down, as well as Tuba. Now Corey in the front line are in a little bit of trouble. Arc just pushing his way out of spawn, or sorry, into the spawn of Fuel, ends up getting instantly destroyed. Transcendence from Crimzo helping them out a bunch.
Yeah, while they were trying to clean up all in the corner, and it was just the supports trying to keep them alive, keeping themselves alive. 3 people died on the point. It was just really good play, and D.Va is going to have the duplicate here. Switch from Corey is going to go on the offensive May. Aim God also makes a switch. So Washington with their first push, which can very often be your best opportunity, going to get denied, going to get deflected, and now have to make changes here. So they're not going to be in the best spot to win this fight, but Dallas doesn't have anything to work with.
Decay is just playing so aggro. I mean, he can, to be fair. He's Tracer versus this kind of comp. Got to be careful of Corey, though. One headshot will do it. D.Va with the ult, though. Duplication online. Decay's almost got that pulse bomb as well. This was the terrifying combo that we saw on Hollywood. Tuba trying to make his way to the back line. You've got to try and take out Closer and Crimzo, and that's going to be it. Your tanks are going to be able to stay alive for so long if you're Dallas because of the mobility. Pulse bomb in the front, ends up hitting the shield of Raw. That's about it. Corey ends up forced to use Ice Block to try and negate some of that damage. D.Va potentially moving into a place where he can use Duplicate, though.
I think he wants the Ryan here.
He does. Oh, absolutely. Surely. There it is. From the skies. The enemy AC-130 doesn't quite hit the flame strike, but it doesn't really matter all too much. Can keep on swinging. Self-destruct's actually a really good mitigation tool here. It actually kills off Gamsu. Shatter on the side. That was a 180. Corey on the floor. Beautiful defense matrix to stop the fire strike, but he still ends up going down. The charge in from D.Va doesn't quite connect with anything, but his team are there to clean them up. Raw gets incinerated by D.Va as they continue to hold this point, now with a lesser time bank than the Fuel.
That beam was just nuts, but you saw he wanted the Ryan hit the shield up, but then uses the verticality of Echo to get up above the Ryan, gets the copy, takes, what, 3 swings he got in there before he has his Shatter. Shatter, you could just throw it away, find someone in the corner, gets Corey down, and then without your May during that fight, going to be very difficult to bring it back. Washington Justice now is definitely going to have a worse time if they can complete this map. If they can't complete this is a Dallas 3-0. It would be the second on the year on the Washington Justice.
Okay. He's looking for something. Arc doesn't have beat either. Pretty hard targets to stick if you are the Tracer. Or more at the Lucio, but it can be done. He's going for the tanks. Instantly to buy Eliovo, though. Thank you very much. Definitely one of the better D.Vas in the league for sure. Made his name in EU contenders, now making his way to Overwatch League, improving his worth, that is for sure. Beat is going to come through as well as that coalescence for the Justice. There's 2 supporters already down, and Corey on the sideline trapping up Crimzo as well. Oh! Defense Rage is going to save his life! Oh, the Blizzard still comes out though. He ends up falling, which is going to be disastrous now for the Justice. They are an offense, of course. The beam now shredding through the front line, but Tuber ends up going down. Doesn't really matter though. They already lost Corey in the start of the fights. The clone, the duplication from D.Va is going to see them through the rest of the fight, and now 1 minute and 50 seconds remain for the Justice. It looks so good for Corey, Hex. It looks so good. He had one of the supports on the back line.
I want to see that from Crimzo's point of view, because like he's just looking at the May, he's getting frozen, you're just waiting for this sweet release of death from that icicle, and then I just imagine like the angel choir and lights trending down as Note comes in behind him with a defense matrix, eats up that icicle, saves Crimzo's life. Now Washington Justice, and this probably the second to last push, and they've made hero changes again. The offensive Torb.
I love it. Offensive Torb and May. This is my kind of comp. There's the Shadow on the side. Transcendence going to heal him up for the time being. Beautiful stun onto Raw. Stops the pin. That'll be Decay picking up the kill as well. Closer does end up trading his life, but it shouldn't matter all too much. Self-destruct on the point. Maybe it does matter now as Crimzo ends up going down as well. Decay's going to have to clutch this fight. Something crazy. Note's got self-destruct still, but that coalescence is going to chew through the front line. Note's going to have to use it at some point. He's going to put himself inside the bubble to take less damage. Gamsu's still alive on the point as well. Note ends up getting taken down as the self-destruct doesn't find all too much. Closer and Crimzo are going to come back with this. Only just is he's so far away, from the Transcendence, but that rally might be able to see them through it. A Blizzard in the front, Corey trapping everybody onto the side as Gansu and Tuba end up trading. A duplication onto the D.Va to try and find a big bomb. Decay tries to get the pulse, but no. Raw ends up deflecting it. Now D.Va has the self-destruct, blasting it right in front of the enemy team. Justice are pushed back eventually as Fuel, in what seems to be a miracle hold, has managed to keep on to this point. 8 seconds remains now for the Justice to try and touch.
I don't know if they're going to get their Primal Rage is up to deny anyone coming in. They do beat and get in.
Remzo has got Transcendence as well. So many ults available for the Fuel. The offensive Molten Core coming out, but it's not going to be enough. The monkey at the gate was enough to see them through. The Fuel are going to push the Justice back and take the W 3-0.
It's just really smart play there from Doha on how he picks his duplicate targets there towards the end of the match. You're playing defense, let's pick defensive and space-creating heroes that can get ultimates. Got a Shatter down, got a Self-Destruct down. The Self-Destruct pushed everyone back through the doorway when they tried to re-enter with Molten Core. That gave Guangzhou enough time. And also, it's a small thing that, you know, maybe you can bring into your own games, but Dallas Fuel were willing to give up 96% there so that they could come out in fighting force. Too often you see teams come back and, oh my god, we're giving up a tick, and they jump on the point, and that's just game over because now you're staggered out through the rest of it. They do a good job of knowing how much they can give up and still keep themselves in the fight. They do just that, keep themselves alive, give Doha the chance to get another duplicate down, and he gets in there, and it's, you know, it's not really fair when the other team just has more tank ultimates than you.
So I don't think the self-destruct really did too much, but again, it was just the pressure that Doha just laid upon the front line.
He put it right in the front door.
Chance. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's where you GG from there, really. Because you're either going to die to self-destruct or die from the oncoming aggression as well from the Fuel. Our player of the match, though, Hex, who is it going to be? Of course, it's going to be the Fuel Echo specialist now in Doha, bringing out Echo, showing what he's made of. Him and Tuba were quite even to start out the day, but it definitely turned over in Doha's favor.
Yeah, presented by Xfinity is going to be our player of the match, and you could pick a lot of different people from this Dallas Fuel team. And I did an interview with the Dallas Morning News, and I said, look, this team is going to go as far as their DPS line takes them. Now, of course, that's not to diminish the accomplishments of the support line. I think Crimzo has been playing well this year. Closer is rock solid. Note, as I've mentioned several times from broadcast, is having some of his better games in Dallas. I think he's finally clicked that switch there. But Decay or Doha, whichever one you want to take for player of the match, fine by me. I'm always Tracer biased, but, you know, new hero, Echo, whatever. Either one can have it. Decay, Doha.
Yeah.
Let's give it to the Dallas damage line, in my opinion.
My bad. It is going to be Decay. Yeah, his Tracer was just ridiculously clean. And being able to facilitate your Echo as well, because you're in a situation, if you're the Justice, trying to pay attention to Echo in the skies and just doing ridiculous damage to your tanks and your shields as well with the beam, and then you have Decay. It's very much, you have to focus one. If you don't focus the other one, they're going to kind of take over the game. That's exactly what Decay did on his Tracer. Not a bad start to the May's games, even. The tournament obviously coming through to later of the month, and you've got to say, especially picking up wins this early on, helping the Fuel with the seeding too, is a bright day for the Fuel fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice, and I think how Dallas played it was really cool, too. It wasn't necessarily this super aggressive dive at all times, even though they had the dive tanks. Kind of played around and poked with the Echo. Echo, I mean, we're talking about a dive hero, good at cleaning things up, a really good ultimate. One of the best poke heroes in the game. Like, that clip has a ton of ammo in it. It reloads really quick, so you're just always kind of poking away, able to headshot, so you can get one from a mile away. It does a little bit of damage, but also they kind of just waited for Decay to get in position, for him to be the initiating factor to, I'm putting pressure on the team, people are looking at me now, and then the team jumps in and Decay blinks out, he recalls back in. I thought he played a fantastic Tracer today, and sometimes we see small variations between the regions, between APAC and North American region, and I think we haven't seen Sombra yet today, and the Sombra Echo, which we have seen a lot from our teams last night, or this morning, or wherever you may be. But the Tracer seems to be in vogue, and throughout the day we've got teams that also field a ton of very good Tracers and some Sombra play as well.
Yeah, I would like to see a little bit of Sombra Echo. Like, Echo well, most heroes don't do anything when they get hacked. Echo especially. It's like hacking a Pharah. She kind of just falls to the ground with no mobility left. It's kind of easy to end up taking her out. And I think Sombra wouldn't be too bad because it, again, facilitates the dive. You hack one target, everybody dives on that one person, and then goodbye, you're deleted. There's nothing you can really do. There's nothing your team can do as well. And it also helps when you're going against Lucios, even the Baptiste too. You're denying beats, you're also denying Immortality Field with an EMP. There's so much you can do with the Sombra.
You could hack the Reinhardt so the shield drops, so then you can duplicate the Reinhardt, which is a really good duplicate target. Makes it a lot easier for that Echo. I mean, there's so much that can be done with these compositions. I think we will see Sombra today. There's a certain team that wears green that has a very good Sombra that we're going to be seeing later today. That I think that would be the team that I would bank on playing the Sombra Echo when we get there. But I'm happy if we just see Tracer all day too. I've made my biases very clear.
I wouldn't be complaining either, Hex. I want to see Tracer, I want to see Echo, I just want to see some sick DPS play, and that's what we've gotten so far. We're going to jump to a quick interview, though, with Zoe
Thank
to
you so
feel
much,
how
Joss.
Fuel
And Hex,
felt about that
and
match.
I have Crimzo joining me for a quick word. First of all, congratulations, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, big W, 3-0. You guys are on an upward trajectory. And, of course, one of the big talking points for this week has to be Echo. How was it for you to implement a new hero into your compositions? Were there any issues coming up during scrims?
I wouldn't say there was issues, but it was definitely like really hectic because like, we tried a lot of things this whole week, and Echo is such a versatile hero. And we even tried some comps without Echo. But it's just a really unique hero to add to the game, and we just tested a lot of stuff, and we ended up finding good comps for us that were comfortable.
Did you know what to expect coming out of the Washington Justice, or did anything actually pop up which caught you by surprise?
We didn't. I don't think we expected Ryan Sigma or anything like that. We didn't know what they'd play. We figured some kind of like either really slow poke or a really fast dive, and they kind of played a really fast comp, but it wasn't dive, so we weren't really sure what to do. But honestly, I think we're just better anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. So you guys finally are on what I already said, an upward trajectory. It took some time to get those W's, but now you're kind of rolling. What kind of adjustments did you guys actually have to make to finally get there?
I think we just it was just a lot of time spent together, just comfortability with everybody, coordination coming in, gelling together. Obviously, I think we just naturally became confident and trusted each other more, and better results because of that.
Right on. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much how it works, right? It is a team game. You have to be comfortable with each other within a team and with new additions, etc. That takes some time, simple as that. But your next match is going to be a big one. I think Philly is your next opponent, and they've only dropped one single match so far. Is there any weaknesses really obvious for you guys? Is there anything you feel like you can abuse when you go up against them?
So they're definitely a really strong team, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't count us out of it. I think we're very confident right now, and we're coming in kind of hot. I think we trust each other, and even though they're very hard competition, I think we can definitely win.
Right on. Now, a few last thoughts from you about the recent changes to the hero pool draws. How does that actually affect you guys as a team? You guys feeling happy with it? Are you confident with it?
I think we're pretty happy. I think it's pretty good for us, where we can predict more what the hero bans will be, so we can plan more around it. And I think it's an overall positive change for us.
Right. Well, that's it already for our interview. Thank you so much for joining, and we hope to hear from you again soon.
Yep, thank you.
We're going to head into a very quick break right now, and afterwards we will be back with the second game of the day, the Valiant going up against the Atlanta Reign.